Hi guys, my name is Grace Lorch. I am from New York City and I'm a rising senior, and my major is business analytics. So I'm here to answer any questions about the business school.
Hey guys, I'm Danny Maloney. I'm from Fairfield, Connecticut, also a rising senior, and I'm a gov major and econ minor.
Hi, my name is Jasmine. I'm a rising senior as well. I'm from Richmond, Virginia. I'm majoring also in business analytics and also psychology.
Hi, my name's Emily Nabel. I'm a rising senior. I was a transfer student last fall. I'm studying sociology and I'm minoring in art history.
Hi everyone, I'm Amaya Cheeseborough. I'm a rising senior. I'm majoring in sociology and minoring in psychology, and I am from Hampton, Virginia.
Thank you so much for leaving questions on the Instagram story. We really appreciate you giving us feedback as to what you guys want to know before you move in 2 weeks-ish.
I guess the first question we'll go with is, which dining hall is the best in your opinion?
Very polarizing question to start.
Yeah.
My favorite dining hall is common/caf. That's normally what we call it. I don't know. The feel is just different to me. I really do like their stir fry station, although we have it in Sadler too. I think caf's is better, but yeah.
Yeah, I think for me it depends on what I'm in the mood for. I really like the international station at Sadler, but I feel like CAF has Caesar salad more often. I'm a big Caesar salad girl.
I'm a little biased because I do work at Sadler, but I'll have to say Sadler because they have this one station and it always has like a main and then like 2 sides and it's like a full meal. And the ice cream machine.
Yeah. I'm going Marketplace, which is controversial.
Is that loud?
They don't even. Well, I guess to finish off this question, I would have to say Sadler is my favorite. Danny cited ambiance for why he liked Marketplace. That's why I like Sadler. It never really feels empty, and when it does feel like there aren't as many people, it doesn't feel lonely necessarily. It just feels nice and comfortable and cozy. So I like the little benches and booths that they have. It's a great place to finish the night out, and it's convenient for a lot of your classes. So it's a winner for me.
Our next question that we got is, how many steps do you average a day on campus? And I low-key need to check my app.
My phone is over there.
I was in Landrum, and most of my classes were in Boswell or Andrews or Jones, so I wasn't taking that many steps like to get to classes, but when I chose to go to the rec, I'd get more steps in, and I want to say I averaged like 12 to 15,000 a day.
I don't know how many steps I take during the day, but I'm probably gonna say maybe around 10,000.
Last year I lived in sorority court and I have classes in the business school, so that's probably the longest trek if you're living on campus to another building. I think I averaged like 15,000 to 20,000 steps every day.
Yeah, I live off campus and I don't have a car, so I've been walking everywhere. I'm checking, I guess like 5 to 10,000 steps. I don't really walk that much.
Well, also if you don't bring your phone, it doesn't get.
Yeah, I ride my bike, so.
I would say I probably average around 10,000 between any long trek from the business school to any other building on campus, or honestly just bouncing around throughout the day to different extracurriculars and study groups, etc. Those steps tend to add up.
Yes.
I feel like it also depends on the weather.
That's a great point.
That is true.
It's true.
It does rain a lot.
But our campus is much more walkable than people think.
Oh yeah.
And walking is very encouraged here, especially with the difficulties parking and all of that timing. So walking is great around campus.
Alright, our next question is, what is the most underrated coffee shop in Williamsburg? I don't drink coffee.
Me
so
neither.
I wouldn't know. I really wouldn't know.
So is it just the...
Yes, it
Okay.
is. I'm not like a coffee shop type of girl, but my favorite like place to get my coffee is Wawa. I know that's probably frowned upon, but I mean they make good coffee and it's very consistent, so that's where I get my coffee.
I'm gonna give an opposite answer. You said you are gonna give a place that like you like getting coffee from but won't necessarily stay. I'm gonna give like a coffee area that I like to stay but won't necessarily get coffee from.
Ooh.
There's Lodge 1 in downstairs at Sadler, which has a lot of great tables for studying and meeting up with people. They also have those comfy booths if you like that. And the Cold Press down there, which is the coffee location down there, sells much more than coffee. They've got pastries, sandwiches, I think smoothie bowls as well. So it's a good variety.
Yeah.
And honestly, you can sit in that area without needing to buy anything. So it's very accessible and one of my favorites.
I like aromas. I don't drink coffee, but I'll get like smoothies or matcha from there. It's a really good place to study. It's right next to campus in Colonial Williamsburg.
The next question is, what is one thing you wish you had in your dorm freshman year?
I think I can go first. For me, halfway through the semester, I just bought one off of Amazon, but I would say like an air purifier. Like, it gets sometimes a little bit dusty, or just the change in seasons, like you can kind of tell the difference in the quality of the air in your dorm. And it's always nice to have one just to make sure, like, you're taking the extra steps to make sure, you know, your allergies are not, you know, spiking up or something in the middle of the semester. But that is definitely a hidden gem.
I would agree with that. Freshman year, I think I ended up getting an air purifier and a humidifier at different times throughout the year. And I've had like my air purifier since, and it's been great because I'm allergic to everything. So.
Yeah.
My answer is gonna have to be a Brita. I had a very accessible water fountain on my floor, but I would get comfy and cozy and a little lazy in my room, so I wouldn't go out to fill my water bottle as much as I should have. And having a Brita not only guarantees that the water is clean wherever you get it from, even though the water fountains here are very reliable, it also means that you can have more water stocked in your room at any time, which would have been useful for me.
I feel like I didn't really have anything missing, so like I bought everything I needed, but I have a recommendation to get shower shoes. You can get them on Amazon, and they have holes in them.
Yeah, I get
They
the
were
ones
just
with the
really
holes in them.
helpful, yeah.
The ones without holes do not dry.
Yeah.
Ever. I also agree. I feel like didn't have anything missing, but I didn't have air conditioning. I lived in Griffin C, so the big like fan that you used to have in like your elementary school classrooms, that's what I had in my room, like just pointed at me at all times, and I never once had a problem.
Yeah.
It was the lifesaver in the first 3 weeks. All right, how's the food?
So I'm a transfer student. Coming from my other institution, the food is significantly better. So I know some people might not have the best opinions about it, but for me, coming from another institution, I think it's pretty darn good.
I think the food is really good. Like, I don't mind eating at the dining hall. Sometimes I get excited to go, actually. Sometimes they have new meals that are really, really good. And there's always something to eat. Like, you can go to the salad station. They always have, like, consistent meals. They always have pizza, like the fried food station. So even if you don't know what to eat, there's always, like, something you can rely on.
Yeah, everything's always rotating, so it's not like, oh no, I have to eat the same thing over and over again. The food has definitely got better in our time here.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot to mention, we are all rising seniors.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that great our freshman year, but it is definitely got considerably better. And there's also a bunch of off-campus options if you want them. Chick-fil-A, Domino's, Bake Shop, those you can all use dining dollars there, so many, many options.
Yeah, definitely the food choices we have on campus, like, you'll never go hungry. You guys are going to be fine. There's going to be food to eat. We have Chick-fil-A. We also have food trucks that always come and have various, just different companies coming. So you may be able to get Indian food, or you may be able to get Mexican food, or like just a hot dog, or just any type of sandwich, or any food you may want, because they come through Grubhub. And also we have Domino's, so you're going to be fine.
I think the only thing I'd add is I like that there is consistently fruit and vegetables provided, because if I were to have to feed myself for every meal based on like my own shopping, I don't know if I'd have the healthiest diet. I have a lot of good foods, but I do like that I can prioritize my healthy eating with what's available on campus.
It's also really good for the people who are on the other meal plans that aren't the unlimited, because you can go in and just grab a bunch of fruit for the week, and you don't have to pay for it at the grocery store, because you are paying for the meal plan, so take as much as you want. All right, Our next question is, how comparable is the workload from high school to college?
I don't remember high school.
Me neither. Kind of showing our age, but I will say high school coming from like I guess you would say college prep type of programming, I kind of was able to kind of slip into the types of assignments we would have a little bit better, but being on your own, being an adult, it kind of takes some getting used to, because now your day is kind of like different. You may think you'll be able to like have the same schedule and do the same things, but college work and just the difficulty of it is different than high school. So yes, you're not going to be in school from 9 to 3 or whatever your school schedule is, but you're going to have other things going on to where it's like, okay, I'm an adult now, so now it's going to be a little bit different, and you're going to have to adjust to your new schedule, your new life anyway, and that's perfectly fine. But it's not much of like, oh my gosh, it's so hard, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it.
In high school, I would say I was the type of person to not study for tests,
Mhm.
but you can't really get away with that in college, so it's really important to study outside of class and prepare for your classes before and after. So,
Yeah, I would say the biggest difference for me was busy work. I feel you don't get as much busy work in college, whereas in like high school you might get like a worksheet or two for every single class, every single night. Your classes don't meet every day, so that's different. It's a lot more reading and stuff that the professors are expecting you to do, not necessarily requiring you to do, so it's a lot of more do it yourself, and the more disciplined you are, the better you're gonna do.
Yeah, to add on to Danny, I think it's best to treat college classes like a flipped classroom, where you take a lot of the time to learn material on your own from the textbook or videos you were assigned, etc. And then you come into class for a general overview of those concepts, especially for the bigger lectures. Sometimes professors will say, oh, we can skip this slide, it won't be on the test. Sometimes it's on the test, but if you do the flipped classroom method, odds are you will have studied that and you'd be prepared for that content to surprisingly show up.
I would say the difficulty, though, isn't much different. Like, I feel like it wasn't like this huge jump where I'm drowning in work and I really don't understand anything. Your professors are there to help you. Go to office hours, meet a friend in class, ask to study together.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
I'd say coming here especially, you're asked to think deeper and more critically about topics, whereas in high school you could kind of get away sometimes with just kind of memorizing the information and just moving on.
Yeah.
It's a lot of just taking it in and then applying it to different situations and thinking deeper about structures and how they exist and interact. So paying attention and understanding concepts, I think, is a big part of the college workload as well.
So speaking of scheduling, how should you organize your class schedule? I'll go first, because we don't need to keep going down the line every single time. It's okay. I feel like it really depends on the person. Some people really like to spread out their weeks, and some people really just like to do it all on one day. So that is really unhelpful information, but do what's best for you. I've had friends who have 5 classes in a row on Tuesday, Thursday, and then nothing the rest of the week, and they love that because that's what they can do. But I personally cannot go 6 hours straight in class and like it's high school anymore. I like to spread out my weeks pretty thin, so I'll have like 1 or 2 classes every day. That's worked the best for me. I also like having my classes in a row, but that's just me as well.
I like forming my schedule where I'll spread things out throughout the week, like Danny said, but then I will squeeze them into the 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. block the best I can. Sometimes I have to move a little earlier to 9:30, other times it bleeds over the edge, like 2 to 3:30. It's very similar to when you get the bulk of your work in high school, but it's not the entire high school schedule, just because I'm already used to working during those times, and I find that maybe I have extra time to get ready in the morning, or I have more time to myself in the evening. So I like to aim for that middle of the day, and then make sure I'm getting all my credits, whether I have to take more classes on a Tuesday, Thursday, or a Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah, I was gonna say, 2 to 5 on a really nice like weather day. You do not want to be in class.
Yeah.
Most people, if they are in your class, won't be in the class. They will be outside on some yards. Don't choose your classes based on that, but Just keep that in mind,
Keep it in mind.
especially in the spring.
So I am a hour 20-minute class girl, because if you have a 50-minute class, you will have that Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah.
I like to avoid having classes on Fridays, so usually my schedule will have like one class Monday, Wednesday, and then I'll stack like 2 or 3 on Tuesday, Thursday, and make sure you have a lunch break. I think that's very important. But yeah, I like morning classes also.
Yeah, I think it depends on the person and like your own scheduling and what you know you can handle. Like if you know you're not a morning person and you're not gonna wake up for an 8 a.m.,
Yes.
try to avoid that.
Yes.
But for me, I think more than 3 classes in a day, I just get overwhelmed. So I try to keep it 2 to 3 per day. Some of the stuff I take is like 1 credit, and so it'll be once a week. So that's when I kind of make that exception. But I always try to block out my afternoons for other commitments, whether that's friends, getting dinner with friends, working out, going to clubs, stuff like that. I did have a night class that was required for my major, and I didn't love it because it was once a week and it was like 3 hours, and it took away from my afternoons. I had to finagle my schedule around that, but it was required. So if you have the option to not take a night class and you know like that's not going to work for you, I wouldn't take it.
Yeah, I would definitely say prioritize you. Make sure you're getting the meals that you need every day. Like class can wait. Yes, you need to get those requirements, but class can wait. You need to choose a schedule that works for you, to where you're taking care of yourself and to where you honestly can be the best you. Because if you're stacking all your classes up to try to mimic what you did in high school, you're going to burn out. There is no way that you can do that in college. If you can, you're 1 in a million. But also just make sure you're taking care of yourself. Like for me, I work during the week as well, so I schedule out my day to where I am able to get breakfast if I want to do that. I'm able to get lunch, and then I'm also able to work in between classes or on the days that I just don't really have a lot of classes. So just prioritize you and make sure you're taking care of yourself, but also make sure that if you have things you want to do, like if you want to work on campus or something like that, or if you just have different things throughout the day, like maybe you want to hang out on Sunken Gardens, just make sure you kind of map that out. Do kind of like a what if schedule. What if like it's sunny outside and I want to have fun or something. So
Yeah, and if you were wondering how many credits you should take your first semester, I would advise like 12 to 15. Just because it's your first semester, you're adjusting to life on your own, and you want to try out all these new things, maybe join a new club or a couple new clubs. So just giving yourself time and space. You don't need to do 6 classes right now. It's going to be a lot. And as someone who's taken 5 classes almost every semester, the 5th class is like a whole new world. So just take your time. You'll have 4 years to rush through it. So yeah. All right, our next question is, what does a normal weekend look like for you?
for me, a normal weekend is like taking care of myself, getting the sleep I need if I was missing sleep during the week. Just really taking that time to like do things that I find interesting, and like going to the gym, or doing laundry, like doing different things around my living space and just in my life to make sure that when the start of the week comes up, I'm prepared for the next week, and that I also know that like I'm not stressing myself out trying to just be in this never-ending cycle of just like do. It's okay to kind of like take care of yourself.
I'd also say I spend a good amount of my time on the weekends kind of resetting for the next week.
Mm-hmm.
I find myself in a really good position if I'm 1 or 2 like days ahead of my homework. That way, it's like Monday, I'm focusing on Wednesday's homework once I get out of class, and it works better with my schedule. So Saturdays and Sundays, I'll be trying to do the work for Monday, Tuesday. But I could also be traveling for like a club sport event, or going to a football game, or another varsity sport event on campus, going out with my friends. But I always find something to do. There's always something to do, either if it's campus or like in Colonial Williamsburg. It's never just like a bored weekend where I'm just doing homework, just doing laundry.
So if you're a business student, there's a good chance that you won't have classes on Fridays. So for me, my weekend starts on Friday, and I'll do work, catch up on assignments, and then Saturday I like to have a fun day, and I'll usually go to the farmer's market in Colonial Williamsburg, do something like outside, do a fun activity, or like go to a restaurant and get like a nice meal. And then on Sundays, that's when I reset, catch up on more work for the week, chores, all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't do homework on the weekends. I can't even look at it.
Yeah.
I need to take Friday off, Saturday off. I'll look at it on Sunday.
Yeah.
It's probably a fault of mine, but it's okay. It's gotten me this far.
Yeah.
I would say Fridays I usually like to decompress after class and just like do nothing for a little bit, or play my piano. But then I'll go out. My fraternity usually has events on the weekend, so that's fun. Saturday I like to work out in the morning and then do something fun during the day. It also depends on what time of year it is. So many different things going on. Football games in the fall, basketball in the spring. And then Sunday we have chapter, so usually I have to block out my day around that, so homework and chapter. Sunday actually is like my least favorite day of the week in college, but it is what it is.
I like using my weekends to catch up socially also.
Yes,
so
catch up with friends.
specifically, I like to use them to switch up my routine. So maybe I'll work out at a different time, which then leaves me open to other opportunities. Also, clubs will have a lot of performances on weekends, Saturday nights, Sunday nights, so I like to take advantage of that to support my friends or just to learn more about the different happenings on campus. And sometimes AMP will have events also. So honestly, I like to use my weekends to try as many new things as possible.
All right. Our next question is, what's it like living communally in the freshman dorms?
For like freshman year, I will say it's kind of like a whole new world. It's not bad by any means. Like this is your first time living with people who come from different backgrounds. So you're going to, of course, have different views and just different ways that you guys do different things. But for me, I feel like my freshman year, I got to bond with my freshman hall just really quickly, even though we had those different things that we were interested in. We kind of build a bond because this was our first time doing this thing called being an adult or being on our own, and we just really were exploring the campus, exploring what life had to offer during our freshman year together, and it was pretty fun. I still talk to them like every once in a while in passing, and it's like a year that I really would cherish forever. So.
And what dorm were you in?
I was in Limit.
Yeah, I would say treasure freshman year, communal living. There's nothing else like it, because I feel like once you move on to sophomore year, the community sense is kind of just gone. You really do everything with your freshman hall, like at least the first few weeks, and I'm still friends with the people I met in my freshman hall. So yeah, just cherish it and enjoy it, appreciate it.
And what hall were you in?
I was in Yates.
Yates.
Actually. It's gone.
Rip Yates. I was in Griffin C, as I mentioned earlier. There were 15 other guys on my hall, and 16 girls upstairs, 3 people in the first floor. Sharing like a 2-stall, 2-shower bathroom with that many people is it's a difference from going to like sharing a bathroom with just my sister to now 15 other guys is a lot. I think patience is the biggest thing. As Amaya mentioned, everyone's doing this for the first time. No one's used to living with this many people. But also, Amaya and Jasmine said, you bond so quickly with them. I was in the lounge for the first, 2 weeks because it was one of the only spots that had air conditioning in my dorm. So we all kind of bond really quickly over that. And then you do all these things, the RAs host meetings, they'll host events. It's a lot of fun. And I kind of wish I could go back, which is kind of crazy to say.
It's really fun.
I really loved the tight-knit environment we had, especially because you would be so close to other people doing their thing that sometimes you run into each other and it would spark a conversation. I remember having late nights where I'd go and get some water from the water fountain and people were talking in the kitchen, and before I knew it, I'd spent an hour there. So that was really nice to have those moments where I could spontaneously either meet new people or just catch up with people who I haven't really crossed paths with otherwise. As for the bathrooms, I lived in Monroe. We had how many people on the floor? I want to say we had around 18 people on our floor. So we had 4 showers and 3 bathroom stalls, and I don't remember there being a long wait for showers, and there was an occasional 1-person wait for the bathroom. We had sinks in our room though, which is a game changer because it meant that we could brush our teeth in our room and do other morning routine things like that, but Some dorms will have sinks, some won't, but I promise you we'll still have a good time in that dorm.
Yeah, hang out in common spaces. That's
Yeah.
where you can meet the most people and just have random fun, like Grace said.
Yeah, and being one staircase away from like a debrief or a let's go get a meal
Oh yeah, getting your
is
meals,
something that
Mhm.
is like you take for granted.
Yeah.
Because now it's a text and like, when are you free?
Yeah.
When are you free? And everyone
Yeah.
gets so busy, so take advantage of it.
Yeah.
All right. The next question is, what is the sports culture like at William and Mary?
Well, I haven't been like to
Yeah.
college anywhere else, so I don't really know how like intense it gets. But I will say, I think we have like a pretty good like sports culture. Like I think we really like all love going to the sporting events, and also just the bonding experience that going to like football games, basketball games, like lacrosse games, any sporting team events we have, like we really rally behind our athletes. So it's always fun. And it's like a really good bonding experience. Like I bonded with a lot of people who I couldn't even tell you their name, or I didn't even know who they were the next day, but it was just like we all were one in that moment. So it's amazing.
I'm gonna jump in and say that even though we have a lot of people who show up to games, there's a lot of room for improvement.
Mm-hmm.
We will oftentimes have half empty stands in the middle of football season just because there are midterms and other things to study for, which are totally valid. But then we have sports that are kind of empty in the stands all year round. For example, this past year, our girls basketball team made it further than they ever had, and the school really rallied behind them. It was really great for so much of the school to see them win the CAA, which is our sports conference, and then go on to make the NCAA tournament for the first time ever. But a year or two before that, our women's field hockey team had accomplished a feat of winning the conference, and there wasn't the same support behind them.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't their first time doing it, but it was still a really incredible feat. So I think what we can improve upon most is having more support overall for our for the sports that aren't as traditionally mainstream.
Yeah.
Because we offer way more than basketball and football. We've got gymnastics, we have golf, we have track, we have swimming, we've got lacrosse, just so many options out there. And I urge you as the people coming into this school to do your best to help improve that sports culture.
I think it's been getting better every year. I feel like I went to an all-boys high school that was really focused on sports, and my first football game here, I think I saw more people in my high school stands than in these stands, which is totally fine. If football's not your thing, it's totally fine. But it's definitely, there have been more and more people every single year going to, like, continuously going to the games, because I went to every single one freshman year, and it was a really small crowd, but it's been getting bigger every single year, and every year more and more people want to go, so
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I have not been great about going to sports events in my time at William and Mary, and that's definitely something I regret. I think I've been to a couple football games and they were super fun, and I think that's something I'm going to do this senior year and make an effort to actually go, because I think if you want to go and have fun, you will.
Also, coming from a school that didn't have a football team, but we were very sports oriented, like I want to say more than 50% of the people at my other institution were student athletes, but we didn't have that football team, so it was mostly just basketball games or, everyone else, the other athletes, so you just kind of go when you can. But coming here and having football, that's been a really great experience for me, because you kind of get the tailgate aspect. My parents have come down for most of the games, and we'll have a tailgate and can invite all my friends. And then it's just a big social event, and you see everyone in the stands. And we are a mid-sized school, so it's not the same as going to like an SEC or like another big like Virginia school football game. It's still kind of tight-knit, but we do have a good showing, I'd say. And it's nice too that we aren't one of those bigger schools where tailgating is all day and the football game takes up your entire day, because like I could go to the football game and go out at night, but I could also still have time to study and do homework between the two. So I was able to strike a really good balance.
And the tickets are free, so you don't have to
Yeah.
base your day around whether you can afford a ticket or whether you're going to waste money if you don't go. It's really just a pop in whenever you want. Especially since the football stadium is in the center of our campus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're living on campus, you're going to hear it regardless. You might as well hear it inside the stadium. All right, our next question is, when is a good day to find like where all your classes are in academic buildings? I guess I can take this first. As an OA, last couple of years I've been taking my students on like the Monday or Tuesday, right before the first day of classes, to go see like the rooms that their classes are in. We can't get to all of them because there's just so many academic buildings, but to get a general sense of where you're going, get a walkthrough. I think the day or two before the first day of classes would be a good time to go. Almost all the academic buildings are open, so you should be able to just walk right in.
One piece of advice I had is when you get your pre-major advisor, at least for me it was in the major I was going to declare anyways, so I was able to see that building that I spent pretty much all of fall semester in, and I just kind of went to my meeting and then I explored the other floors to figure out where my classes were. And again, coming in as a junior transfer, all of my classes were in similar locations, so I kind of got to know Boswell very well.
For me, I definitely went with my OAs. We kind of did a little bit of touring. We didn't hit all the stops, but I will say, even if you don't do it during like orientation or like first day or whatever, you're on campus, you'll be okay. Everybody here is friendly. You can stop and ask anybody, hey, do you know where this is? If you get confused, and a lot of people, if they have the time, they'll probably walk you there, or they'll just direct you in the path you need to go. Also, utilize like Google Maps, Apple Maps, or whatever, because that helped me out a lot when I was trying to find my classes and just find different routes to get to class on time. So
You probably won't have time on move-in day and the first couple days of orientation. There's a lot of events, a lot of things to see. I would say like definitely the day or two before the first day of classes, you should map out your path and see where you need to go.
Especially because one of the biggest things about moving to campus, or at least starting campus, like being on campus for the first time, is just the living aspect of being here. So it's good to spend a couple days focusing on settling in your dorm room if you're going to be living on campus, or figuring out how you want to time your meals depending on what your schedule looks like during orientation or afterwards. That's a great time to figure out what foods you like from the dining hall. So there are so many other things you can learn about yourself and the community before those last couple days of orientation, when it's more ideal to look around and see what building your classes are in.
Also, make sure you're looking on path where your classes are and
Yes.
not coursicul, because coursical's not always right. While it's right like 90% of the time, just make sure you're right before the first day, because there's really nothing more embarrassing than walking into the wrong classroom. Well, thank you guys for watching. I hope we answered some of your questions, and if you have any more, we're going to be doing another one for orientation. So we've gotten your orientation questions. If you asked any, we are just holding them for the next video, which will come out next week. So we'll see you in the next one.
Bye guys!
Bye.